And
Hello,
like,
hello. Hello and welcome everybody to my podcast, Questions on My Mind. And for this episode, I am talking to my great friend and excellent homeopath, Galina Gazenko. And did I say that right, actually? Gazenko?
oh, hello everybody, and hi Jackie, and thank you very much for inviting me to your wonderful podcast. Well, my name is quite challenging because it's very, very unusual. And then Ganzienka, it's a Ukrainian surname, and then I have another one is Bogisrol, which is an English one. So it's quite powerful.
Yeah, it's quite long. It's quite a long name, but yeah. No, welcome. Thank you for coming and coming to talk to me about all things homeopathy. We'll dive straight into the conversation around homeopathy because I want to get to the nuts and bolts and everything about homeopathy. But let's circle back around at the end, more about yourself and where people can find you to work with you and all of that sort of stuff. And we'll put all of that in the YouTube description as well.
Sure, yes.
So, homeopathy. I was going to start with what is homeopathy, but what I'll start with actually is how old is homeopathy as a healing modality?
Right. Yes. I would say it's a system. I call homeopathy is a system of medicine. Okay, it's a system like Ayurveda is a system of medicine. Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine is a system of medicine. And why system is because the system of medicine has laws. It's well established, well researched, so it's supported by scientific research. So this is a system, and it's been designed especially like a system of medicine. Okay, so homeopathy, it's more than 200 years old. It's quite an old system of medicine, but it based on even older methods of healing. I'm saying healing because if we're talking about medicine, it's been healing rather than, medicating. And the principles of homeopathy go back into Hippocrates, really. Homeopathy been, I would say, discovered. I would say discovered because, as I said, because the healing methods or what homeopathy using dating way back to more than 2,200 years. So homeopathy been discovered by German doctor Samuel Hahnemann. And Germans, they're very methodical and precise and hardworking. So Hahnemann, I think because he had these qualities that he done this kind of amazing things as kind of discovery of homeopathy or invention, I would say homeopathy, because this is the name he gave to this system. So Hahnemann was a doctor, medical doctor, and he in I think 1794, 1795, that's quite a long time ago, the year of beginning of homeopathy. And he was a medical doctor, and he wasn't very happy with the methods, what 18th century medical methods. There was lots of bloodletting, lots of toxic substances used in medicine that time, purging. So lots of different things, what quite he thought quite harmful to the body. They use arsenic, they use different heavy metals, and Hahnemann wasn't very happy about it, and he didn't see results of this kind of medical treatments. But he also was a translator. He knew 8 different languages, and he loved translating old books and manuscripts written by very famous old medical doctors. So he'd been writing all these manuscripts, and including the work of Hippocrates, Cullen, and he realized that many of these old methods of healing, again, medicine, healing, that used to be healing, natural methods, being forgotten. And he was surprised, and he started to look at those old methods and different approach to health, not the approach what doctors at the time had, that okay, we have a symptoms, let's just get rid of the symptoms and it's fine. But if you're looking at method of healing, and as I already mentioned, traditional Chinese medicine, it's thousands of years. Yeah. Or at least the medicine being used, and it's still used because it works. Or we look at Ayurveda, again, thousands of years of medicine, history of this medicine, and there are systems, and they are using different approach what medicine using at the moment. So they're holistic.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you know what holistic is?
Holistic, to my mind, means taking account of everything that's going on with that person, everything that's going on in their life, even that you might not even think is connected to the symptoms that are going on. And I'll give myself as a personal example. There are certain illnesses that come from stress, and if you don't look at the stress and the other bits around it, all you're doing is masking the symptoms, but the actual cause of it is still there. So therefore it will just come out in a different way, potentially. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. Different levels. Okay, holistic, it's a whole, from the whole. So we're looking at the patient as a whole, exactly. And even not only patients, hands and head and eyes, we're looking at the environment where patients lives, and the way, and then the people who surrounding, how patient interacts with environment, how patients interacts with people. And this, we're looking at biochemical, we're looking at physical organs and systems, we're looking at emotional, looking at mental, and even energetic, because if you look at traditional Chinese medicine, they have acupuncture, and they're looking at energy channels.
Yes.
You're looking at Ayurveda, they're looking at energy centers, chakras. Okay, some people call homeopathy energy medicine because they think that the homeopathic remedies, they contains energy. We will talk about homeopathic remedies later. So you see, again, it's like a very similar system. So that's why Hahnemann, when he realized that bloodletting and heavy metals and toxic substances, this is not the way to look at the whole person. Okay. And he started to work on, okay, well, let's see what are the what this old masters, all practitioners, old healers can offer. And he realized that some of them many of them, they use natural substances like herbs, but some of them use natural substances in a small doses. Okay, like almost like antidotes. So they prepared snake bites, and then they give that snake bite in a special preparation as an antidote. That's quite common thing in olden days. So he was trying to see how he can use those methods and apply in that time when he was living. And also, if we're talking about using toxic substances that time for treatments, what he realized that those toxic substances, they remove symptoms, some of them, but they give new symptoms. Toxicity symptoms. And he realized, actually, he found somewhere in those old books that to use that substance that gave toxicity, for instance, like arsenic, but very, very diluted, very, very small dose. We call it nano medicine now these days. Nano, very small dose, will actually antidote the bad effect of arsenic. So that's how he came to this idea. And being German, he started to experiment, and he was experimenting on himself, giving himself different substances in different preparations. He was experimenting with a different preparation. He was diluting in a different, in a different ways, and looking which substance, which dilution works better. He was not only, he actually created the whole method of homeopathic preparation that we can talk when I was going to talk more about how the remedies, how they work. So he actually developed this whole system. The method of preparation, the method of the how to approach the patient, how to take in consideration everything holistic, the patient holistically, and the way we call the direction of cure. So he wrote it everything, being German, he wrote everything in his organon. So you give the patient this homeopathic remedies, where patient is going, what's happening with the symptoms, what's happening with the patients, is direction of cure the right or it's not. So it's all been, he done really good job, and he created this, is called our like a homeopathic Bible. It's an organon where it's all written very well. And then and he found a name for his new method, his new medicine. He found it is a homeopathy. Okay, and why homeopathy? Because homeos, it's the same. It's in homeos in Greek word, it's a similar, and pathos, it's a suffering. So basically, what it's saying to us, the similar to suffering, the medicine is similar to suffering. Talking about arsenicum poisoning, the medicine for arsenicum poisoning is similar to what patients suffering from arsenicum poisoning, the arsenicum in a very, very diluted form. Is that clear?
Yeah, it just sounds counterproductive, though. Like, if that's the thing that's caused me the problem, then why would I take a similar thing?
Well, that's the point. The body, when you're giving the body, is very, very diluted substance that cause you the problem. It's almost like a body overwhelmed with the stress of that toxins, okay, of that toxic substance, and really struggling to get back into the homeostasis, into the balance. And then you give this little pill with a very, very diluted arsenic, and the body says, oh, actually, that's my problem. Okay, now I know what to do. It's almost like a signal to the body. Okay,
Yeah,
I know.
that's what I've heard. It's an instruction set or something. Yeah.
The message. Some people saying homeopathy is a nanomedicine, so it's because of such a small small doses of different substances. Some people saying the homeopathy based on memory or water, because when you prepare homeopathic medication, in some it's during this process, some remedies actually don't have a material dose of the substance. It only have a memory of that material dose. It's very difficult to comprehend. And I think that Hahnemann was really revolutionary on his field then, because he created something that he couldn't understand himself. So we now, with all our technology, we now understand what is the memory of water, how the molecules work, what is the energy. But, Hahnemann and the traditional Chinese medicine doctors who were working with energies, they not quite understood probably how it was working, but it was working. I mean, So we know all sorts of different medical systems, and they ancient. Some of them are really ancient. So yes, so this is how homeopathy was created. And Hahnemann, he died at age of 87, and all his rest of his life he's really practicing homeopathy, developing it, writing books, and trying to really make this system perfect. And now we have many doctors who are using this this system.
So when you say memory of water, that reminds me of is it Dr. Emoto? And the whole, if you talk to water in a certain way, it changes the structure of the water. And because we're water, mostly the way we talk to ourselves, so it could be more energetic and frequency than necessarily just substances.
Exactly, that's the point. That some homeopathic remedies, they're already not no substance left. It's only this energetic imprint of that substance that carrying this information about that substance. Like for instance, we're talking about arsenic, carrying the information about arsenic, symptoms of arsenic poisoning, and if the patient is presenting those symptoms, oh, okay, that's what needs to be done. Because it's not only we're giving antidotes to, you know, arsenic poisoning, so you're giving arsenic in homeopathic preparation. Funny enough that the homeopathic preparation of arsenic called arsenicum album. That's the name of the homeopathic remedies, and it's amazing remedies. I love these remedies actually myself. It's a great remedy for anxiety. It's a great remedy for poisoning, for any poisoning, if there's a lot of diarrhea and vomiting. But arsenicum album was actually a very interesting remedy, because when COVID started in India, and India is very homeopathy in India is really big. There's probably thousands and thousands of homeopathic doctors in India, and lots of clinics. I have few friends in India, homeopaths are very successful in literally treating, I don't know, 20 people a day, patients, because people just, you know, coming, and there's not enough conventional even doctors. And India has a Ministry of Medicine, you know, just a Ministry of Health, and the second Ministry of Natural Medicine, including homeopathy and Ayurveda and herbal medicine. So you have two health ministers. So when COVID started, the Ministry of Natural Health publish or send a message or start to tell people that to prevent COVID, you need to take remedy arsenicum album as a prevention of COVID, and it did work. But it's very interesting why people are thinking, why does it work? How it prevents COVID? It prevents because it's actually calmed down anxiety. Because remember that when it all started, people were anxious. They were anxious. They were, oh my god, I'm going to get this terrible virus, and
I'm going to die.
Anxiety does to our body.
Reduces your immune response, so you can't actually fight.
It's putting us into sympathetic state, nervous system, sympathetic, putting our sympathetic nervous system in fight and flight state. And you're right. And then immune system turn off practically, and we can get anything, any problems. So by removing anxiety, people were not getting into this stage, and people were not getting COVID.
Wow.
Interesting, isn't it? Wow. And even with my patients, I remember patients calling me that time and saying, oh my god, I have 3 people in my office just gone down with COVID. I'm so worried that I'm going to get COVID. And I would say, take arsenicum album. No, she wouldn't get COVID after taking arsenicum album, because she calmed her down.
Okay. Good, good,
So
good.
this is so what I was saying is that in homeopathy, it's not only like antidote of the poisoning, the substance. It's basically we're looking at symptoms. I give you as an example. We have a remedy called allium cepa. Allium cepa, it's onion. It's onion what we use every day in the kitchen. And when you cut onion, so what symptoms do you normally get?
You start crying.
Crying, red nose, red
Yeah.
eyes, you know, the nose is streaming. Yeah. What those symptoms look like? What do you think? They similar to what kind of problem?
Cold.
Common cold
Yeah.
and allergy,
Oh, yes.
hay fever.
Yeah.
And allium cepa is a brilliant remedy for common cold and for hay fever with these kind of symptoms. So you understand. So it's not only you taking allium cepa when you're cutting onion, but you can take allium cepa if you get a common cold with this kind of symptoms. That's called cure like. Did you get that?
Yeah.
So that's why we think like, cure like, because onion would say toxicity when we're cutting it, those, and the common cold picture is exactly the same. Like, cure like.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it? It's a lot to kind of get your head round. So if it's a system like you're saying, like Ayurveda and Chinese medicine and stuff like that, it doesn't sound like it's a quick fix, like you get a cold. Well, I suppose for acute things, it does work quite quickly, or maybe it depends on the person. I don't know how. I was going to say it's not a quick fix, but actually I kind of talked myself out of it as I was saying that. So maybe you can talk me through it treating acute illnesses or chronic illnesses, things that you've had going on in your body for a while.
Yes, exactly. You're absolutely right. So if we have acute problem, so what is acute problem? As we just said, common cold. Yes, it's an acute problem. Trauma, it's acute. Acute cystitis. Sometimes people would say, I have acute cystitis, I have chronic cystitis, and I have acute cystitis. Okay, so if it is acute, then homeopathy can work really quickly to remove symptoms. I tell you very quickly 3 examples. I had a patient, a little girl. I don't know how to turn that off. A little girl, and my patient, she developed a swollen eyelid. She was allergic to flour, and mom did something in the kitchen, and girl came and like a flour she didn't eat, but it gone into her eyes, and the eyelid was swollen like that. So the mom taking picture, sending me a phone message saying, oh, well, what can I do? Most of my patients, they have a homeopathic first aid kit with 36 remedies. We call first aid kit. Yeah, because you can quickly react and give. It's mainly for acute problems. So I told mom, give her remedy called Apis. Apis is a remedy for swelling. So she gave her a remedy, Apis 30. 15 minutes later, she sent me another picture. The swelling half gone. Another 20 minutes, she repeated the remedy. Another 20 minutes, gone.
Wow.
So it was quickly. Another example, I had a patient with ear infection. The little girl with ear infection, and when it's really bad, children are screaming. really, because it was so painful. She was literally screaming. She was quite small. She was screaming and screaming. And the mom was on the phone with me, and I was saying to her, okay, give her this. She would give her remedy. Okay, wait for about 10 minutes, nothing works. And give her this. Okay, wait for another 10 remedies, nothing worked. And then the third one, I said, give her this. She said to me, she said, I gave it into her mouth. She kind of, you know, like a kind of suck a little bit, and then she's like, oh, stop crying, and fell asleep. she said, Mom said that I couldn't believe it, just like an instant. Okay. And then a quickly third example, another patient broke her arm, little girl, 10 years old. She broke her arm, and on the way to the hospital, Mom was giving her homeopathic remedies, like we have this for trauma, arnica. She was giving her arnica, and you know, I mean, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour to the hospital. And when they arrived, the mom said, how are you feeling? Because the girl was obviously crying, you know, broken arm. And she said, I think I got used to the pain, because you know, it was painful, but it wasn't as painful as it was before she started. So kind of, she said, I think I got used to it. I can't get used to the pain within, you know, an hour. So clearly pain was less. So this is how quickly homeopathy can work. Okay, but if we're talking about long-standing chronic problems, you know, arthritis, heart problem, high blood pressure, fibroids, you know, depression, panic attacks, problems that have a lot of either history or etiology or causation, you know, or something that lots of things needs to be sorted for this problem to actually go away. We're not talking about pain going away. If it's like arthritis, we're talking about arthritis going away. Okay, that we need to work quite a lot, and it takes time to sort out all those problems. Normally I do, when I'm taking case on the first consultation, and when I'm kind of assess the patient, and I'll say, okay, so this we can deal quickly, and those problems will take time, because how many years you had it for? Okay, so we have to literally go back. I always going we're progressing, we're going back to the good health. So because we kind of like unwinding, and we're kind of removing all these problems until the patient get better.
So it sounds like the more life you've lived, the more trauma you've probably had. I'm talking generally now. Obviously, it's not the same for everyone, but the more life you've lived, the more stress you've probably been under for a sustained amount of time. All these different, you've probably had other ailments. You've been in different environments that might be affecting. So I'm assuming it gets really quite difficult to unpick those different things the older the person is, potentially.
Well, yes and no. I had you know, little babies with lots of problems, but then we in this case we're talking about genetic predisposition and inheritance and family stuff. Okay, but you're right, you're absolutely right. So you know, like for instance, the patient coming to me, and I ask about pregnancy, and their mother was very stressed during the pregnancy, or somebody died during the pregnancy. Then it was difficult birth that caused the patient, you know, trauma, because the traumatic birth, you know, stuck in the birth canal, so it's affected the patient's head, and it's very congested, and then mother couldn't breastfeed this patient because of the stress during the pregnancy, whatever problems in the family. So the patient didn't get a good bowel flora, because the patient wasn't breastfed. And then vaccination started, and the patient had, you know, childhood vaccination. The patient had reaction of childhood vaccination, and that's affected bowel flora as well, and some development development, sorry. And I don't know, school started, and then at school bullying or something. Then I don't know, uni. You know how uni is, lots of stress, not eating very well. The patient started to get irritable bowel, then got married, and then relationship was really bad, and that caused a lot of problems with reproductive organs. You know, and then patient comes to me. So what do? I need to literally address each single, as you put it, trauma or deficiency or problem or toxicity. You said stress, yeah. Stress was bullying, stress was vaccination in this case, stress was not having not being breastfed and having formula. It's all stress, physical, chemical, emotional, all stress. So I have to literally work on each single traumatic event in patient's history that I know affected, you know, we're talking, for instance, the IBS. So what's affected IBS? Not having good bowel flora, restoring bowel flora, first detoxifying. Very often, first I detoxify, I remove the physical traumas, physical accidents. Okay, I need to remove. Remedy like arnica is brilliant to removing this physical trauma from patient body. Detoxify all the digestive system if there were lots of problems with liver, for instance, or lots of toxins. Then detoxify, then reestablish or regenerate. You know, work on the liver to first detox, then regenerate for liver to work better. The digestive system, detox, regenerate to you know, reestablish, to work better, and then things are gradually going forward. But it's just tons of work. That's a problem with average patient of ours.
But see, I could come to you saying I've got, I don't know, irritable bowel or whatever, but not, I'm just coming to you because of that problem. But I'm not actually thinking I've forgotten all about the bullying that I had at, say, primary school, or I've forgotten all about, or I don't even know anything about the birth situation and how difficult it was. I've heard about it, but I wouldn't have thought that would affect me. So it's not something I would even consider as being part of the reason for this. So if someone comes to you, how do you get back to some of those things that they wouldn't even
remember?
Yeah. Or wouldn't it factor in as
when patient booking appointment, first appointment, I have this kind of quite extensive questionnaire. I don't remember how many pages, probably 15. And there are lots of aspects of patients' present health and health history, starting with pregnancy, birth, even go back to mother's line, you know, mother's health, father's health, grandparents' health, and kind of so on. So before they coming to me, they're already filling in lots of you know, questions, lots of questions, and start thinking and understand, oh, it's all important, right? Okay, of course they can't remember maybe things, but things will come up during the next appointments, and they might say that, oh, I completely forgot I had lots of cystitis when I got married. So yes, so, and again, you see, it's like a layers, we call it layers. Okay, then pregnancy is a layer, and then difficult childbirth, traumatic childbirth, another layer, and not breastfeeding, being breastfed, another layer, vaccination, another layer, bullying, another. It's like a layers. And when we work, we call it, we're removing the layer. We removed one layer, and then another layer come up. Then we removed another layer. Yeah, it's quite complex.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be quite a long healing journey.
It depends what patient wants. Again, it really depends how much patients want to uncover and how much patients wants to, how deep patients wants to go. I had a very interesting case of one elderly lady, Italian lady. She was 73. She came to me, recommendation from another patient. She came to me and she said, how can I help you? She said, I can't cry. I need to cry. And I said, why can't you cry? Because something happened to me when I was a child and I can't cry. And I need to cry. And I basically carried this trauma, what happened to me when I was a child, through all my life. It's ruined all my life. And my husband passed away recently. I didn't have a good relationship with him because of that trauma. And now, 73, I want to sort out that kind of, I want to, put an end on that suffering. And I want to cry because I think if I cry, I feel better. So I said, what happened to you when you were a child? And she said, I can't tell you. Too embarrassing. So I did, and I understand by asking other questions that it probably was something like sexual, I don't know, not raped, assault, or something about sexual thing. And because she mentioned that she didn't have a good relationship with her husband, and it's about relationship, or deep down a sexual maybe relationship. So I started to work on whatever information I was given, and three months later she came to me and she said, thank you very much, you really helped me, now I can cry, and thank you, and all the best. And but I said to her, but you have your arthritis, why don't we next address your arthritis? And she said, no, it's fine, I'm okay with my arthritis, but I sorted out the problem that I really needed to, I wanted to sort out, and thank you very much. Okay. That's what she needed. Okay. And some patients been with me for years and years and years, and I'm treating their parents, and I'm treating their children, and treating the whole families. And then normally what happened, people will come with some presenting some complaints, some problem, and then we would sort it out, and then maybe something else will come up, we'll sort it out, and they will say that, okay, well, I'm okay at the moment. And I would say that, okay, why don't we do twice a year checkup? Okay, so we have I normally do one autumn and one spring. We'll book appointment, and you will come and just make sure that, what's happening in your life, that nothing missing. Because very often patient would come to me after 2 years after the treatment, we had successfully got rid of the problem. And then 2 years later, they come to me and they're saying, oh, do you know, I have this problem again. Why? Oh, because this is good. I had a terrible year. I had this and that and other. And I said, why didn't you contact me earlier? I would support you through this difficult time, and we wouldn't go back to that problem what we sorted 2 years ago. That's why I do this the checkup, the MOT, twice a year MOT, because obviously spring is quite problematic time, and late autumn is quite, often people getting ill this time. And then it's fine. Then they will say, okay, yeah. They know where they have appointment, and sometimes they will bring it forward saying, oh, actually, I don't want, I need to see you now, not in 2 months. So that's helping people so it doesn't need to be, long-term treatment. Although I've been seeing my homeopath now, let's see, for 25 years, kind of almost non-stop. Not every month, but because life is life, and we have so many problems. And for me, I better to go to see him as a prophylactics, where I have I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they will sort it out and I'm fine, rather than not, and then 3 months later I have a problem. So, and I don't go crash. And I don't go to
conventional. What I do. Sorry, go ahead.
And I don't go to conventional I don't go to my GP. Neither me nor my daughter, who is now 26. We don't go to GP because we're happily sorting out everything with homeopathy, diet, of course, because I'm a specialist. I've been in this field for 20 many years, 20 something years, almost 30 years. So I know about diet, I know about toxicity, I know about stress, I know about meditation. So obviously I'm using all of it. Not only homeopathy, even with my patients, not only homeopathy, other things as well.
Yeah, because I was that did make me think that you can't really just use anything in isolation because of that holistic element to it. So I can't necessarily be getting the homeopathic remedies, but still eating really poorly, because it kind of cancels out,
We
possibly.
call it maintaining cause. If you have something like you're smoking, you're drinking alcohol, and you obviously your body is suffering from it, we call it maintaining cause. And when people come into me and they will still have problems, and it's do you still drink alcohol? Well, yes, yeah, sometimes. Or do you eat some gluten if somebody has problems with bowel? I said, well, that's maintaining cause. Until you stop doing it, you're going to have problems, because the cause is still there. We need to eliminate the cause of the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's time and convenience that gets in the way, because even I've recently done a gut protocol, and I've had to cut out gluten, dairy, all sorts really. And then it becomes difficult when you're going out into the world, and pretty much if you're anywhere you go and you might go out to eat, it gets difficult to find stuff to eat because most everything's got gluten or dairy in it. Particularly if you're vegetarian or vegan, it ends up just like, what the hell am I gonna eat?
I know. Many. I'm the same, and many of my patients are the same. When they understand, they understand what kind of diet they need to eat, and they're trying to eat something else, and then they're not feeling very well. But then again, why do you need to fit into the kind of old system? Why don't you create your new system? For instance, I went to the restaurant to see a few friends, and one lady, she just brought her own stuff with her because she's on a diet, and she just brought her own stuff, and she was just happily eating what she had. So she needed, because she didn't want to eat what was in that lovely Turkish restaurant, because because she was on a diet. What can you do? Yes, it's difficult. But I remember the case with the little girl who had eczema. She had eczema, and she just could not tolerate neither sugar nor wheat, and she was, I think, about 10. And when patients are already this age, and I talked to them directly, and I said to her, look, you can't eat sugar, you can't eat bread because of your problem. If you want your problem to get better, then you should really watch your diet. And if your mom is going to give you something wrong, you need to tell your mom that you have your diet. Can we do that? Yes. So the next appointment, she's coming with her mom, and I asking her, so how was your diet? And she said it was fine, but only once I had a cake, but it was my friend's birthday. I just could not. But otherwise, I was really good. She was really proud of herself because she was very good. She was, she was really looking after her diet. So that's the way to work with children, because very often if you tell parents the child can't eat something, and then parents telling the child obviously doesn't want to hear. But if the doctor telling the child and putting responsibility on child and children, they love to be like grown-ups and take responsibility. They do it. They really do it. So you see, yes, she understood. Her health depends on her diet, and she did it.
Okay, so if you have to, so say you do have to, would that one instance of eating gluten cause a problem? If
Sometimes, yes. Okay, another example. I had a girl with allergies, and she was allergic to wheat. No, sorry, girl with allergy, and I routinely saying, if there's any eczema with children or adults, I always saying, you need to eliminate all the gluten and all the dairy, okay? No gluten, no dairy, nothing. And yeah, okay, fine. So parents went away, and then months later they came and mother said she was doing really well. She wasn't eating what you said she shouldn't eat, but yesterday I thought, oh well, she's much better, so I'll give her yogurt. And then this morning we woke up and she has again rash on her body. So mother said, well, that's what now I know.
Right.
So that's, yes, maybe it's okay, but maybe not. And then again, it's a cumulative, because not often people have reaction like this girl, you know, straight away on normally children have a reaction like that, although adults now too, but not necessarily you have the strong reaction on gluten, but it's cumulative. You know, if you start eating gluten and then, you know, 2 weeks later you realize that, oh, I have this symptom again.
Yeah.
So yes, I even send my patients books, you know, like recipe books. How there's a brilliant book nourishing traditions for babies and children, and for nourishing tradition cooking book. So it was like a healthy recipes and healthy diet. So yes, so even sending that to educate my patients, even telling them where to get some things like gluten, what the good quality gluten-free bread on, or if people can eat dairy, I'm telling the raw, when they get raw milk, things like that. So yes, so I'm also educating my patients as well.
So you're a nutritionist as well?
No, I'm not, but over the years I learned what good things are not good things. Yes, I don't like I do, as I said, I read I have to read a lot and try to find the best way I educate my patients. And because I work, I charge money. I'm not GP who free, okay? As people coming to me, they're paying money, they're paying good money, so I have to make sure that I'm helping them.
Yeah.
So I have to so I'm learning a lot. I'm constantly learning new things, what else I can do for my patients, or what, you know, what meditation I can suggest this for nervous system, I can do breathing or diet, or yeah, so it's kind of a little bit of everything really to be able to help. But I don't recommend many supplements, like, you know, if you're a nutritionist, many supplements. I do recommend some main one, but not many, because obviously you need to know more about supplements.
Okay. So if someone were coming to you for homeopathy, is there any contraindication with them doing anything else health-wise? So say they, for instance, came to you, they were getting homeopathy, but they were also seeing maybe a herbalist or a Chinese medicine person, or does it contraindicate with anything else? Or
no, not at all, not at all. On the contrary, I use myself therapeutic remedies. I use herbal remedies additionally to homeopathy. In homeopathy we call them organ support remedies. For instance, I have it's called strong detox. That's a remedy for your liver, for liver and gallbladder. And there's the milk thistle and dandelion, 2 herbs. There's a herbal remedy, and the best herbs for the liver, for detoxifying and supporting the liver. So I give homeopathy, but I also give this organ support as a herbal organ support. I use flower essences for emotional problems as well, again supporting. I have this drops called de-stress drops. It's the flower essences drops to calm down nervous system when somebody's stressed. And I remember I had a patient, I used to work on Harley Street, and patient came to me sorry, talking too much. Patient came to me, lady, and she said to me, before we start, I should not forget to get your de-stress drops from you, because I have all of my products there. And I said, but you already got 2 last time. She said, yes, but I have 1 at home, 1 in the office, and I need another one to carry with me everywhere. That lady, she was quite emotional, quite, she was prone to anxiety. So that distress drops, she needed to have them, because, if anything happening, she just like drops into her mouth and it's like, oh, okay. So that's flower essences. Goes quite well with homeopathy. Another thing, biochemical remedies. I use a lot of biochemical salts. They call them we call them Schussler salts. It's 12 biochemical salts that the basic for our body. So there's a non-organic. Our body made of non-organic substances and organic substances. Okay, so we have 12 non-organic salts. They are kali-phos, kali-mur, nat-mur, silica, so all those salts, and they are vital to our body, because if we have a deficiency, we have immediately problems in the body, any problems literally, and so many problems, probably because of deficiency. Some problems because of toxicity or stress, okay, and some because of deficiency, biochemical deficiency, so not enough those minerals, because how people's diet are not brilliant. The food we're eating is not brilliant, because the
soil's depleted and all of that. Yeah.
Even if you eat organic, it's not brilliant as well, because obviously they will pick up these blueberries in Peru when they're still green, and then you're eating those blueberries and you're thinking that, I'm eating organic blueberries and it's good for me. Not really. Not enough. Not enough. I think I read somewhere, so you need to eat actually like 10 times or 20 times more carrots these days to get what you would get from the carrot you were getting 30 years ago, because of the soil depletion and everything. So you see, biochemical as well. So it's not, it's supporting, again, it's supporting the body. So we have organ support on a physical level, we have emotional support by flower essences, we have biochemical support with biochemical salts. I also use quite a lot of superfoods. So we have vitamins, we have like supplements. I don't know, you can call them supplements, so I call them superfoods, like a spirulina, chlorella, maca. What I use berry powder, which is really concentrated flavonoids and vitamins, minerals, and bee products like propolis. But it's brilliant. And what I realized, that if I only give patient homeopathy and not giving patient all this organ support, I call them therapeutic remedies, the patient is not improving as quickly as it will improve on those support remedies, therapeutic remedies. Plus, I would send patients to see an osteopath. Yeah. I would send patients to see a bone technique practitioner who they work on a structural level, okay, on the musculoskeletal level, although on the fascia, they do amazing job, because I know that will benefit the patient. Because what patient now wants, they want to get better quickly. I don't have this time for patients to wait for 6 months to get better. They want to get better quickly. So I'm trying to find anything. But you said something about conventional drugs as well. Did you say that if patients on the conventional drugs?
Yeah.
Yes, again, I had patients coming to me with the list of conventional drugs, especially older people, send me what you are, like, oh my God, what I'm going to do with this all. Well, yeah, of course, I work with those patients. Again, we talk about homeopathy being energy medicine. Yes, so we're saying the homeopathy works on a physical level as an energy medicine. drugs, they work on a chemical level, 2 different levels. So they won't contradict.
Yeah.
Unless I'm using herbs. If I'm using herbs, then I looked for contradiction. Because if patients taking statins and I am giving some actually homeopathy, some homeopathic remedies are brilliant for thinning the blood, for instance, like arnica, okay, or some herbal tinctures, okay, for thinning the blood, like Crutigas. I've got brilliant therapeutic remedy called blood flow, really good. So if that's the case, then I know I might not give this remedy, this remedy or therapeutic tincture, or give the lower dosage because the patient is on statins. And then what we're doing, reducing the statins and increasing this to the point when patient doesn't need to have to take statins, and patient is on therapeutic, and then patient doesn't need whatever, using diet or biochemical remedies. And of course, for instance, I need to know that when patient is taking statins, patient is depleted on Q10.
Yeah.
So I need to give patient Q10 as additional, vitamin. So it's kind of lots of different things. Exactly as the same with high blood pressure, if it was beta blockers. So if patient on the beta blockers, we sorting patients still on the beta blockers, we sorting out what is a heart. Heart is the emotional organ.
Yeah.
Normally, high blood pressure is reaction on stress and emotional stress. Yes, and we need, when patient on beta blockers, it's like a patient not reacting on stress. It's kind of like a dullness. So, but still the heart is still working quite hard. So what I'm doing, I'm sorting out patient's emotional state while the patient's still on the beta blockers, supporting the physical heart, because very often when you have this blood pressure medication or blood pressure, constant blood pressure, the heart is worn out.
Yeah.
We need to support heart with herbs. I have this heart tonic based on Crutigas, brilliant support heart. I have this biochemical remedies supporting the heart on a physical level, heart muscles supporting it. The capillaries, the veins, arteries supporting to work better. And then when patients and then we started to reduce beta blockers and see what's happening safely. Of course, none of the patient will reduce any medication without GP. So obviously they're communicating with GP and they're saying, well, look, I'm feeling my better. Can I reduce dose? So reducing the dose. And again, it's kind of, okay, is it okay like that? Yes, fine. Okay, let's reduce. Okay, is it okay like fine? Okay, it's just like,
Yeah.
with thyroxine, same with other things. So I literally go through this like okay, we've done this, we reduced this, we kind of got rid of that, and then obviously beta blockers, then they don't need diuretic and things like that. So yes, work very well, and as I said, even good, because being on drugs, and some drugs people think, okay, we want to statin for the rest of your life. And have you ever look at the statin side effects or other drug side effects?
Yeah.
Not good.
It sounds so complex. Are there any situations or conditions that you wouldn't use homeopathy for?
Not really.
No. Okay.
No, I work with cancer patients. I work with cancer patients in remission. So when they've been in remission for years, and then I work with side effects of chemotherapy. I work with cancer patients during the cancer treatment. okay, when they were having chemotherapy or radiotherapy, supporting them to go through so they wouldn't lose their hair, they wouldn't have problems, they would have energy. And yeah, so it was quite good. Yeah, no, not really. I can't think about any cases where I would say, oh well, I can't work with you because that's what, we don't work with these conditions, because it's holistic, remember.
Yeah.
We don't need that. Sometimes patients say to me, do you need all my test results, and I can give you what doctor gave me, all the kind of diagnosis? Well, I take it, I look at it, but actually I'm more interested what symptoms patients present and what emotional state patients in, what's actually happening with the patients, rather than diagnosis from the doctors or tests. And I had many very interesting cases of patients who would come to me and say, oh my gosh, I got this this test, and there's a bacteria in my gut, and oh my god, it could be lethal. And I said, what symptoms do you have? No, I don't have any symptoms, but according to this test I have this thing, and really worry about this. I said, well, you don't have any symptoms, so why are you worrying? So things like that. Sometimes tests can be quite, detailed, and
Could people be worrying though, because things can be silent? Like, you don't, maybe with some illnesses you don't have symptoms until it's things are quite advanced. Or for instance, I now use an Aura ring, and it now does daytime stress, and there'll be times where it's saying you're very stressed, and I'm thinking, but I didn't feel stressed at all. But there's clearly something going on that if I don't address it, it could lead to something becoming symptomatic.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and you're right. But the way we work, with when I make this treatment plan for my patient, when I make this prescription, I'm not only working on one thing, I'm working on everything. So I'm making patient better generally.
Right.
Okay, I am I'm making sure there's no problem zones. Like, for instance, we talked before, I'm making sure there's a, if patient had a traumatic birth with a trauma, with a often when they go into the birth canal and they stuck there, so it's a lot of congestion there, so I can work on the remedies on that. So that is a problem zone, so I dealt with that. So there's a bullying, as we were talking, it was a bullying, so the patient low confidence is low, so we work on that. So I can identify the problem zones. The problems are looking at family history. Oh, it's a diabetes in the family history, so I need to make sure that I'm working on that. Yes, patient doesn't have diabetes yet, or maybe not, never will, but I need to make sure that I watch this and make sure that the patient is, I don't know, not craving. So deal with the sugar craving, or deal with emotional upsets. So it's prevention.
Yeah.
The patient really will get better, rather than you saying that if I'm not doing any tests for 3 years during the homeopathic treatment, I might miss something. That's the whole point of the treatment, that you will actually get better. Patient would come to me saying that, this year I didn't have my hay fever. I normally have hay fever, but we started treatment a few months ago. I didn't have hay fever this year. Okay, or they would say that, oh, my period pain is my period is much better, and we never talk about the period, because she said, well, it's all right, it's not too bad, but it's no pain at all now, and I don't have any PMT. And we were not working with a period and PMT at all, we were working with something else. But because it's holistic, it works on every level. And if you look at homeopathic remedies, the remedy, we call the remedy picture, so description of the remedy, it has emotional part and it has a physical part. Okay, so when I am prescribing the remedy, I'm looking, how much the remedy matching the patient. Remember, like treats like. So I need to find the remedy, the matching the symptoms of the patient or the trauma of the patient. Traumas of the patient, for instance, like Givanica, because there was a trauma in the past.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, indeed. So, is there anything else you wanted to say about homeopathy that we haven't covered?
Right, okay. I made a little note. So what I was going to, I'll just quickly go through my notes because there's a few facts that we didn't actually talk about. Well, first I wanted to say that, as you understand already, because people are always asking what you can treat, it looks like we can treat anything really, or even if it's not treating, like I said about cancer, we can support somebody go through the treatment. Okay, so that's that. So we work on a physical level, we're working on emotional level, working on a biochemical level, and again, as I said, I work when I work, I advise meditations, I advise breathing. So it's kind of really very, very complex services. What many homeopaths like that. What we give. I was going to give you some interesting facts if you might find them interesting. Well, homeopathy, according to some research, they're the second most commonly used form of alternative medicine in the world. And there's a lot of clinical studies being done on homeopathy, and they literally the kind of the right study, randomized control, studies, double blind, all these things. There's a lot of studies being done, and it's about like almost 300 studies to date been done on homeopathic remedies, and 144 different conditions been published studies on 144 different conditions. So an interesting that I like that number. It's finding that when homeopathy was effective, it's about 43%. In those studies, the homeopathy was positive, positive results. It's actually 67 studies only, but still positive results. And then I found this interesting number. Analysis by British Medical Journal, clinical evidence show that just 11% of 3,000 of conventional medical treatments commonly used in the UK beneficial. Only 11%. And we're talking about 43% of homeopathic remedies. So I like that. We have more effective. If you're the people who are listening to this podcast wants to actually look at this data on scientific research in homeopathy, we have an amazing organization based in the UK called the Homeopathy Research Institute, and I know people who work there, and they're amazing, and they basically promoting, they're studying and promoting this high quality research in homeopathy. So it's called the Homeopathy Research Institute. Just Google it, and you can see all this information. There are other organizations as well, but they are. This is the UK base.
Maybe we can put that in the yep. Show notes as well, for anyone who wants to go look that up. Yeah.
But so when we're talking about this control randomized studies, also people need to be aware that homeopathic remedies regulated by Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act. So they're like drugs. Okay, so they highly regulated, so the quality of the remedies is really good, and we have pharmacies like Ainsworth and Helios. By the way, the Ainsworth is the pharmacy where our royal family getting homeopathic remedies, because British royal family been on homeopathy since 19th century, non-stop. And I met late Peter Fisher, unfortunately gone a few years ago, but he was a royal homeopath.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a royal homeopath for, I don't remember, 14 years, I think. He was a royal homeopath. He was a director of London Royal Homeopathic Hospital. It's now London Hospital of Integrative Medicine. It used to be London Hospital or Royal Hospital of Homeopathy. And we had 5 in the UK. And I think it's only 1 left at the moment, but we had 5 homeopathic hospitals in the UK in the 20th century, last century. So yes, and I had a relation, it was my husband's relation, and she was telling me that this little lady or elder lady, she said, "Do you know, I am seeing a Queen's homeopath." She's kind of like, when I started my homeopathy course, do you know, I'm seeing a Queen's homeopath. So yeah, so not surprised, the Queen Mother, she was, 102 or 3 when she died.
Yeah.
And Prince Charles is a patron of homeopathy. I don't know what else they do, but yeah, they've been. It's like one of my patients said to me, you know, it looks like they don't want us to know that homeopathy works, because if you look on Amazon, in Google, there's all kind of rubbishing homeopathy, and then you look at the royal family, and they're all taking it. So they don't want us to know that homeopathy works. It was really funny. Yeah. So yeah, I was going to just looking if anything else interesting I can tell you about homeopathy. I think at the end I've had some interesting that's another thing. When we were talking about how homeopathy works, it works with the body, not against the body. Okay, so it's basically helping body to get better rather than suppressing the symptoms like conventional drugs.
Yes.
Okay, so if we have anti-inflammatory, so we have
anticoagulants,
anti
antipsychotics. Yeah.
So it's anti. So we have this is a wrong approach. So we have inflammation. Well, let's kill inflammation. But the body is so clever. Body gives inflammation because it's trying to survive, trying to sort out the problem. It's like a high fever. It used to be, oh, no, we can't have high fever. High fever, we need to reduce the fever. And now doctors started to say, well, actually, fever is a very good response.
Yeah.
For the body. I even was listening to one of the podcasts by one of the very prominent national doctor, and he was saying that there was a clinic, and I think in the 1930s, it was a cancer clinic somewhere in America, and one doctor was studying the results, and it wasn't very happy with the results. And then it was one patient who actually recovered, and he went to the patient and he said, tell me your history, how you recovered. Apparently this patient had a very, very high fever due to some infectious disease, and after that his cancer disappeared. And the doctor developed the method of treating cancer, but by inducing the high fever in his patients, and that was his method of treating cancer. So we can't suppress what body is trying to do. Fever, or I mean, I always anti-diarrhea remedy. If body needs to clear the diarrhea,
it's just inconvenient because I've got to go to work, or I've got to, I can't be doing with the.
I know, but if you go against the body, you pay for it. So that's what I was saying, that the homeopathy goes with the body, not against the body. Okay, so that's I was going to say, and just looking. I think I had very interesting facts. If I anything else I want to say is 500 million people during the according to the statistics worldwide using homeopathy, and 40% of all physicians in Europe using homeopathy, and in some countries actually homeopathy is a part of national health care system, like Germany, Switzerland, Greece, India. So they're all part of the national health system. So by saying the homeopathy is alternative medicine, kind of yes and no.
Yeah.
So it's a more like a really mainstream. It's kind of like my patient is right. You know, they don't want us to know. So yes, I think that's probably what I put in my little notes I was going to say.
So if someone wanted to work with you, and I have to say thank you, what was it? I think it might be a couple of years back now, during the, I think it was the second year of the pandemic, I got really sick. And you were such a help with all the remedies and stuff that you sent me at the time. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Jacqui.
But yeah, if anyone wants to work with you, where can they find you?
Right, I've got my new website. It's very fresh. It's probably lots of mistake there, but I need to. Yes, I'm working on it. I have my website, so I can give you my website. I do have social media. Again, I'm so busy with my patients. I'm not very good at social media, but I do have something. We can or just contact me over my email, or I can leave my number so people can just contact me, and then I can.
Yeah, if we put all of your details in the show notes, where best the best place for people to get hold of you, that would probably work best.
I also want to say that before pandemic, I was working on Harley Street, so I had a clinic on Harley Street. But since pandemic, and it was just nightmare to go to London, and then the train cancel, and then patient has a positive PCR test and can't come, and whatever. It just was nightmare. But so I actually I'm working online at the moment, mainly online. However, for patient who wants to see me, I literally have clinic near Bedford, near Bedford. Forgot the name of it. Happy something project. And if patient want to see me in person, so I see patients there now.
Okay, well, we can definitely put all of those details in the show notes, so that people who want to get hold of you can. And I'm way overdue an appointment with you, I think, so I will be sorting that out and getting some remedies for myself. But I would say definitely if you're looking to sort of try homeopathy, Galina is an absolute brilliant homeopath, so please check her out. So with that, I think that would be a good place to leave it. Thank you so much, because I found that really informative. Maybe even some things that I didn't know about homeopathy that I thought I knew quite a bit about it, but I don't. And the other thing people can do is maybe get one of those first aid kits as well, just as a start, because I've got one of those. And just if you've got like a cold coming on, or you've got like a little bit of anxiety or whatever, there's loads of little remedies that you can take to help with those. So that's another route that you can go down if you want to sort of try things out for yourself.
And also look at my website. I have all my therapeutic remedies there, and they are absolutely safe to take if people want to, you know, work on their liver, on some immune system support or things like that, or stress. So I have all my remedies on my website, so people can just get them on the website. And some people, oh, I don't want to use homeopathy, but I want to use some therapeutic stuff, some herbal stuff. Then that's fine. But first aid is really good. Yeah.
And remember, it's holistic, so there's no point going down the route of spending lots of money on homeopathy if you're not going to also work on the other aspects of your life, which like diet and stress reduction and all of those sorts of things. It's a holistic approach, but well worth it.
But are you helping people? Because some people coming to me and say, oh, I do this, I do that. And, one lady said, oh, I don't want to stop drinking coffee, because I normally recommend, if you have some problems with nervous system, stop drinking coffee, of course, because coffee makes you like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I want my coffee, I want my coffee. And then she went away on holiday and she said, can you imagine? I was sitting in the middle of the Vienna and I had my nice coffee, and then my panic attack started. Now I know it was triggered by coffee, and now I'm going to stop it. I said, told you.
Great. Well, don't go anywhere, Galina. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Thank you so much, Jacqui. Thank you.
You are very welcome, and thank you for just coming on and giving people, this is what I try to do, give people some insight into some of these different healing modalities, spiritual stuff, everything that they might not know about, or they might have a little bit of an aversion to, but actually once you find out more about it, it's not quite what you think. So yeah, I'm just trying to bring this information to people. So thank you for joining me. I will stop the recording now, and we can then say our goodbyes off camera.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Everybody.